Hello, and welcome to Connecting Jewish Grandparents, the Grand Plan podcast. I am thrilled that you're here with me on this journey of building and holding and sharing a joyous Jewish legacy. And I hope that you enjoy each episode and that you encourage more people to come with us on this dive into family, mental health, Torah, tradition, past, present, future. It's kind of hard to give it one short description, but that's why I call it Connecting Jewish Grandparents because there is so much connection that is happening in each episode. And I know you know. I know that's why you're here because every grandparent carries dreams for their family. Right? What else does that grand mean? Parents carry hopes and dreams, but grandparents, that's when the picture gets so big and important and meaningful and intergenerational. Because these aren't just fantasies. These are visions of who we hope our grandchildren will become and the values they'll hold and the connections that they will maintain in their story for who those grandchildren are right now in this moment. If they're like the tiniest little people or still yet ideas, to those grandchildren that are in college or married, or what they will maintain in your legacy, in your story, in our peoplehood. What is that dream? But dreams, they also don't just manifest on their own. A dream is nothing without it being guarded and tended, shaped and secured and manifested. And that, my friends, bringing dreams to reality is the heart of this week's Torah portion. So sit down for Parsha Vayeshev. That means and he sat. It's kind of a little pun there. This Torah portion, we're starting the Yosef story, the Joseph story. And we here on this podcast are obviously going to explore it in relationships to Jewish legacy and mental health and emotional connection and all of those things. But I always have to pause and give a little pitch to Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat because the soundtrack, the story, I love how the words of the Torah are brought to life in such an entertaining way for such a variety of audiences. So if you haven't listened to Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in a long time, now's the week to flip it on. If you've never heard it, now's the time to listen. And maybe it's the week to share it with your grandchildren. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We are here to talk about Joseph as Yosef, as the dreamer. Any dream will do. No, but he dreams. He has the dreams of the wheat bowing, and the sun and the moon and the stars bowing to him. I'm not going to go too much into dream symbolism here. He is very clear on what this means. He tells everybody, to his brothers and his father, they know what his dreams mean, and his dreams threaten and confuse and inspire. They're dreams that's not just about power. I'm going to be the highest and you're all going to bow to me. These dreams are about purpose and about future and about what is going to be. But the idea of everybody bowing to Yosef obviously does not resonate well with anybody who hears it, really. His brothers are painfully jealous and angry, and their feelings aren't really unjustified. I mean, if we go back Torah portion by Torah portion, the sibling rivalry is intense in every generation. But I want to look today about how Yosef's father, Yaakov, reacts to the dreams. There are many, many different ways that we can look at what happens in this week's Torah portion. I mean, every word can unpack a huge amount. And I really want to look at how we bring dreams to life and how we manifest who we are and who we want to be and how we envision and how we bring it to action. But in this moment, I'm just going to look at the tiny bit that Yaakov says in reaction to what his father, to what, how well Yaakov reacts to Yosef's words. All right, so we're in Bereshit, Perek Lamed Zayin, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Genesis chapter 37, the 11th line. And his brothers are jealous. Ve'aviv, that's Yaakov, and his father, Shamar et Hadavar. And his father, Shamar et Hadavar. I'm going to leave the Hebrew phrase there because we're going to unpack it. The most literal translation or the most commonplace would be Shamar, guards, Hadavar, the words. But this phrase, Shamar Hadavar, oh, I'll hold on to that thought or that idea. It's not such a common phrase. It's actually a very rare phrase. We'll just take it the face value to start, and then we'll go deep and go on quite an adventure with it. Yaakov guards, he treasures, he holds on to the dream. He doesn't really understand it, but how do you think that feels for his son to say, you guys, the whole world is going to bow to me? You think about what Yaakov's life had been like. First, he was, in his tents learning, but he felt second place in his father's eyes. He was never, Esau was more beloved by Yitzchak than Yaakov was. And then he goes to Lavan's house where he's practically a slave for 20 something years. The idea of the world bowing to you, that his son is has this potential? How exciting. I mean, as parents, we want nothing more than our children to be as successful as possible. We want the world to bow to our children. How exciting. Of course, Yaakov wants to guard these words and treasure them. And this isn't just a parent. This is the wise elder. This is seeing past the surface, holding potential, protecting that emerging spark of the next generation, right? I was describing initially as ego. Every parent wants their children to get into the top universities, to excel in everything, to land that job. But that's kind of for the immediate ego, the next step above that personal ego of being able to brag about how great our kids are. And trust me, I know your kids are great. I know my kids are great. It goes, then there's the step past that of when our children do achieve their personal success, right? It's not about me bragging. It's that I want my children to find their place in the world and thrive in it and really find their potential and maximize it. And that's our responsibility, and certainly the grandparent responsibility. And that is a way of understanding what Yaakov does, Shamar et Hadavar. But where else does this phrase appear? It's actually only one other time in the whole Torah, in the whole Tanakh. And it's a phrase you might have heard before because it appears in Sefer Shemot in Exodus, and that is describing Pesach, Passover. You are going to guard this thing. Shamar et hadavar. You're going to guard this thing for you and your children forever. Pesach, guarding the mitzvah, the memory, the identity across generations. And I can assure you that Passover is one of the things that we as Jews have done an exemplary job in guarding this thing, Shamar et hadavar, for generations. So we can take what Yaakov said he was going to do, what Jacob said he was going to do for Joseph, and we can take what we are doing in preserving Pesach and be really proud of both. We are both guarding something precious, something future oriented, something that has to be protected and transmitted and held carefully and cherished. All right, now we're just going to look at those two words. Shamor, shamar, shamor, and devar. Now, shamor, you've probably heard it in different ways a lot of times. Oh yeah, I am shomer Shabbat. I keep Shabbat. Oh, are you shomer kashrut? Do you keep kosher? Shomer negia, shamor v'zachor. There's a lot of this sense of guarding. There's also, here in Israel, oh, who's the shomer? Who's the guard on the door at a place? Who's the shomer for the wedding where they're keeping the bride and groom separate? The idea of being a guard to protect, to keep, to hold close. It's active responsibility. It's not passive. It's not just waiting. And not only is it so important to us of like, oh, as I said, Shomer Shabbat, it's actually the first thing that mankind ever does. Well, maybe the second. When Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve are in the Garden of Eden. It is the second verb used to describe what they do. The first is they're going to work the land of Gan Eden, Garden of Eden. And the second is they are going to shomer it. They are going to guard it and protect Gan Eden. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go that well. However, it's the second expectation that the Almighty has on humanity. First, to work. Second, to guard and protect and cultivate. All right, what are we guarding and protecting and cultivating? Here we have the letters Dalid, Vet, Resh, Davar, which means a thing. But it means so much more than a thing. The word thing is, I guess, kind of all-encompassing and nothing at the same time. But davar is the same word as dibur, daber, to speak. Vaydaber, Adoshem, and the Almighty speaks. We talk about that all the time in the Torah. Where? Daber, dibur. We talk about God speaking, man speaking. It's one of the regularly used verbs to describe the power of speech. And just to give a dvar, a short thing, a short word, right? Dvar Torah. You hear it in so many different ways. It's a word, a matter, an idea, a message. It's a promise. It's something real. It has weight. The first time that the Torah uses the word Vaydaber, and he said, it's when the Almighty is speaking to Noah, and it isn't when he tells him to build an ark. It's when he tells him to get off of the ark. The first time it's used is when God says, now go take your family and go build society. What a powerful thing. That the first time that mankind hears God speak with that verb of Dalet Bet Resh, it's to go build a society in a new world of peace. It's huge. And that same idea is what Yaakov is guarding. And he's not guarding some far-fetched dream of, I don't know, you can imagine what a far-fetched dream is. He's guarding the seed of possibility, the seed of the future reality of what Yosef says he's going to manifest. Shamar and Devar. It's guarding a promise until it can come into existence. It's holding long-term vision even when it doesn't make sense at this moment. And this is so relevant for us. Presumably, you and none of your loved ones have recently had a dream of sheaves of wheat bowing to them, or the celestial forces bowing to them. And still, they are dreaming. They are dreaming of important things. And you, the grandparents, are guardians of that dream. Why? What makes it your responsibility, our responsibility? Well, you can see further. You've lived longer. You have seen these rhythms the same way that Yaakov has more insight into his son's relationships and he can guard the thing without worrying about it too much is because he's the parent. He is older. He's a generation older, so he can see. Grandparent? Wow. If Yitzchak had been there, what a different world it would have been, right? He wasn't, unfortunately. But you are here, and you have the ability to hold the dream, hold it calmly, while others might panic or misunderstand or feel jealous or resentful. You can protect what matters, not by controlling, but you're modeling, you're nurturing, you're believing. Guarding dreams requires inner work. Okay, I talked about all the examples of Shamor. None of them are passively sitting there. To be Shomer Shabbat, it's a lot of work. Lamitet Melachot and all of that. Keeping Shabbat is no easy business. Guarding a building is no easy business. Guarding the Garden of Eden, as I said, did not last very long because it was too hard for them. Guarding requires work. But guarding a dream, for that, you need clarity. You need to know what is the dream you are guarding. And this, my friends, is where your personal work comes in, your personal growth, your therapy, and your coaching come in. You can't guard what you haven't articulated yet. You need to figure out what that dream is. Then you guard it, you hold it, and you manifest it. What is your davar? What is your thing? What is your word? What is your vision? What is your dream for you and your family? This is where the coaching comes in. This is where you are making a grand plan and then working to cultivate it and to culture it and to guard it and to manifest it and make that dream a reality. This is where you reach out to do a coaching call with me. This is where we start and we cultivate and we nourish and we dream and we bring to reality. The moments that carry meaning, the family stories to be transmitted, the collective Jewish heritage and your personal identity, and you and your partner and your family, and what that means to the next generation. And of course, the flip side is also true. You, as the grandparent, encouraging the dreams and gifts of your incredible grandchildren, just like Yaakov encouraged Yosef's emerging greatness and his dreams. What is your active role as grandparents, not just in transmission of past generations, but of supporting, upholding, and helping the future generation? So before you make the coaching call or during or after, I need you to think about what the dream is that you want to hold for your family and what's stopping it from happening right now. What are the roadblocks? What are the patterns? And what is it that you want to shamor, to guard and nurture and bring alive? So what is the davar? What is the thing? The words, the dream that you want for your family, and how are you going to guard and protect it? It doesn't happen instantly, but it will happen a lot faster with a coaching. So please reach out. My bracha for you this week is that you're able to have clarity on what that davar is for you. And maybe it's just a small piece of it, but that thing that is so valuable to you. And instead of it feeling so large and overwhelming, that you're able to articulate it, write it down, and you're able to feel that you can guard it. But start with what is that davar. And if it feels too big, call me. Book a coaching call. We're going to do this. I am excited for you and your grandchildren for your potential in shamoring for them, in guarding for them, in holding for them all of the dreams of the past and all of their dreams for the future. It's going to happen. Not just sheaves of wheat bowing, but really the unimaginable future, how it will unroll. Have an amazing week. Show notes and coaching call. And get that free Hanukkah pack. Did I not mention that? Hanukkah is in 1 week. So there's a fun Hanukkah kit. It's activity games. They're geared towards like, I don't know, 3 to 8 year olds maybe. So download that, get it, play the games, do the worksheets. But the worksheets is not just like do the worksheets. They have thought-provoking questions to guide you and your grandchildren together in that dream, but really in that connection. Again, connecting Jewish grandparents. Please share these episodes with friends, loved ones. Let's keep the connection going. Have a great week.